So another video that I wanted to make is just to talk about the celebrities. Congratulations for Jessie J on her new birth, that her son that's just come. Um, I was interested to read. I didn't really read all of it because I was in a rush at the time, but I heard that you had a C-section. I was quite interested in how your birth would go actually, because you represent um, the angel of real strength. I feel like the type of birth that you had would be part of that. And I don't know if this is true or if it's just a story, but yeah, it said that you've had a C-section. And when I'm thinking about it, I feel like that is actually probably what is the stronger option. Like, basically, a lot of people have C-sections. It's a very common thing. And a lot of people don't want C-sections because of the permanent scar I've heard. I've heard that it leaves a permanent scar and never goes away. And I feel like that would be something that I would definitely try my best to avoid. And I think a lot of women would do that too. There's a lot of pressure to have the natural birth and the normal birth, and anything else is bad. I know that there's a lot of people that might believe this or say this and stuff, and they actually end up just putting the child's life in danger and at risk. Um, and that's a really bad thing if a C-section is what's necessary. I think it does take real strength and real strength within yourself to say, you know what, I'm gonna accept the scar and I'm gonna go with a C-section. And I feel like that is what real strength is, and I think it's a strong message that the world needs to know. Even if it's not the truth. But even if you didn't have a C-section, but it is the truth. If you need to have a C-section, I think a lot of women would be like, no, we'll go for just the normal birth. I don't want the scar. I'd definitely be tempted to do that. I know that. But yeah, really, you should just do whatever's the recommended best for the child if it wasn't coming out the normal way. And it's also strength long term. Every time you see that scar, you're going to be reminded of the birth, which is a good thing because you want to be reminded of your son. But yeah, it does take real strength to know that your body is going to have a scar for a long time. But I hope that I'm sure you will have the strength to realize that that's not a scar is not the biggest problem in the world, especially if it can be hidden under trousers and stuff like this. So yeah. Anyway, and I also read something about Doja Cat. I don't know, someone made a video about how a lot of people were insulting her and saying that she's part of the Illuminati, and so because of this, she's had the 27th birthday that's all celebrating on Eyes Wide Shut, and she's been adding even more symbolism into more Illuminati symbolism into her work because of this. But then there was this other clip that kind of indicated that she's actually kind of pissed off about it, and she's not really that happy about people constantly thinking that she's in some sort of a cult or something. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like there's so many people who talk about the goddess, but if they talk about the goddess, they would describe her as being a demon or a seductress, or there's so many people who just over sexualize their music videos. And I'm not like that. I'm definitely not like that, and I know Madonna does that too, overly sexualizing a lot of stuff. I'm not like that, but at the same time, when I hear all these preachers just talk shit about the goddess, it kind of makes me want to, pretend that I'm overly sexual just to piss them off. And you're not really happy about it at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't really like you very much, and therefore, if I'm going to do something to piss you off, I feel like I want to do it even more to piss you off even more. And but yeah, so I feel that way, how she might feel. I understand that. And another thing I want to talk about is Britney Spears's kids moving to Hawaii. And I mean, that didn't seem like did they have family in Hawaii? I mean, Hawaii is a long way away. Do they want to move there? And then I read this video where they said that you can gain custody children in Hawaii the parents are forced to pay custody up until 23, and that could be the reason why Federline wants to move his kids to Hawaii so that he can get an extra 5 years of child custody care from Britney. I think that's disgusting. I think that's absolutely disgusting. If that is the reason why you're going to Hawaii, so you can milk more money off someone who literally the marriage lasted 2 years. He clearly was only after her money from day one. Britney was obviously a bit mentally ill and fallen into this trap. The children don't seem to be much in her life and don't seem to really like her. You know, she does have mental illness and stuff, and she's paying huge amounts of money for childcare now. Okay, on one hand, she's a big famous celebrity, and maybe these children do need a little bit more money than the average person. Why? Probably because they do need to be taken around as chauffeurs, or they might maybe need bodyguards every now and then. I don't know what their life is like or something. So, but if you're in the public eye, you know, you can't just live on reduced foods. Yeah, like with me, I always go to Sainsbury's, and I don't know I can't choose what to go for. So I'll always just go straight to the reduced section and just like the cheapest thing. But if I was a multimillionaire and I did that, people would probably be like, are you weird? They'd be thinking of me being really strange for doing that. So you can't do that. You have to kind of be normal and spend money, I guess. So that they definitely do deserve child custody and custody care, but to go to Hawaii, so they're taking thousands of pounds off her each month, and then to think that they can just go to Hawaii so they can get an extra 5 years, even though they don't really like it, even though this marriage was failed right at the beginning. Clearly, it was just a money grab scam, and they're just using her as a cash cow, and it just. The whole thing angers me. You know, I don't like Britney at all. She's never done anything to really help me. I thought she was my representation, or at least I promoted her as being my representation for 5-6 years, and all she ever did was just make me look bad and make me look insane and make me look crazy, because you know that's pretty much how the path that she's gone down. And so I'm not on her side at all, but I'm also not on the side of people paying child custody care over the age of 18. You know, parents should give money to their children because they want to help their children, because they like their children, because they have a good relationship with their children. If, however, the relationship isn't there, if for the last 10 years they've hardly ever seen their children, or their children aren't really responding to them, to force them to pay childcare is kind of bad, because it's it's bad, but it's necessary. I understand that. But then after the 18, they're not a child any longer. They don't count as a child. After the age of 18, they should be on their own. And if they've been really bad to their parents for the last 10 years, and the parents don't want to give child care after the age of 18, they shouldn't be forced to. And to think that they could, that people can just go to a different country and just where different rules apply, and just to completely milk off the parents that they don't like. I think that's absolutely disgusting, and I've actually lost a huge amount of respect for Federline. I mean, he needs to get his own job. He needs to, if he can't afford to live a big expensive lifestyle. I mean, I'm sure he's probably a multimillionaire too, so is Britney. And people who have so much money and think that they need even more money, I can't understand it at all. I live off a couple of £1,000 each year, and you know what? Me having no money has nothing to do with me being unhappy. I'm unhappy because people are doing things about me behind my back. That's why I'm unhappy. It's not because I don't have money. And I think I stress out a lot more because I don't have much money. But I kind of like stressing out. Stressing out's a little bit fun. But yeah, I just wanted to say those things.